What's up, you guys? Alright, today is Wednesday, September 7th. Current time 16:49, 4:49 p.m. For those of you guys who don't know military time. We are on northbound US 95 alternate in the city of Silver Springs, Nevada. I was like, Silver Springs? Where the hell? How the hell did you get way over there? Last load I picked up, but I talked about taking it to Dallas. So how did I end up going from a load going to Dallas to all of a sudden here? So we'll talk about that here in a second. Let's see if I can make it in. Oh, he's turning right anyway. So, all right, cool. All right, we're hitting the roundabout now here in Silver Springs. Traffic circle, whatever term you want to use, they're all colloquial and acceptable. We're going to head west on US 50 right here. Just clear myself here. Alright, so what happened there was, you guys saw that I picked up the load promptly. Literally as soon as the yard jockey finished disconnect from it, I was already on my way over to the trailer to pick it up. I got it moving. Ended up, I just made a quick stop in Barstow for a quick bite to eat. I really just ordered something and got right back on the road. And then I stopped in Lake Havasu City for fuel. Did a 30-minute break somewhere and then ended up finishing my shift in Lupton, Arizona. Now, mind you, I don't like stopping in Lupton. I don't mind Lupton as a whole, but I never get good cell service there. It's always bad. So I don't like stopping there overnight or anything like that. But I was trying to do what was best for not only the load, but I got my son's wallet and I was trying to get it to him. And I even had an option to go to Dallas from where I was picking up. I could have either taken I-10 across to I-20 or take 40 across and then take 287 down from Amarillo. And I opted for the 40 route because my son lives in western Oklahoma, and I figured, all right, I'd go out that way. I was trying to extend my legs on the first stretch, that way on the next leg I could actually get, maybe to Quanah, Texas, along 287 and shut down there and without having to hoof it too much to get there. So I ended up, that's the only reason I stopped in Lupton. I actually would have stopped in Holbrook otherwise, more than likely. Because I just didn't have enough clock to reach Gallup. I was real close. I had 13 minutes left on my clock by the time I got to Lupton. And that's, Gallup, the first, the truck stops are off exit 16, so 13 wouldn't have been enough. Sure, I could have probably cheated in PC, but that's piss poor trip planning. If you ask me, I won't do that if I don't need to, and I didn't have a real need to, so I don't make a habit of doing that. You get your own lane, dude. You don't have to stop. Alright, we're going to make a right here. This is USA Parkway. So we're on our way up to the Walmart Distribution Center here in Sparks, as you might have figured it out if you're a regular viewer of my channel, or if you just somebody who pulls reefer freight yourself and you're familiar with a lot of customers. But anyway, while I'm in Lupton, I'm on a 10-hour break there, and in the morning while I was still on my break, because I got there like 4:30 in the morning or something like that. And a few hours later, I get a message on my TransFlow saying that my appointment's been scheduled for 6 a.m. the very next morning. I'm like, 6 a.m., I'm still 800 miles away from that customer. There's no way I'm going to make it to there on time. So I told him my best case scenario is more like 18 or 1900 on the 6th. So, like, yeah, that load's not getting delivered on time, at least not by me, if at all. So, I don't know why they even scheduled it so early, but well, maybe it was the Costco thing that was the best chance. That was the latest appointment time they could give or something. Because JCT doesn't do the dictating about what, when I can show up and, when what appointment time works for that. If Costco says they needed it by the 6th, and the latest they could give me was 6 a.m., well, that's what JCT has to work with. That's what any of the carriers have to work with. Alright, anyway, so I let them know promptly, hey, there's no way I can make on-time delivery then if it's going to be due at 6 a.m. So the DM who was handling my DM's board over the weekend there was he put me on the SWAT monitor, and later on in my 10-hour break, I was about 9 hours in almost. I get a message saying, "Hey, I got a team coming to get that load from you." Well, didn't really exactly say that, but yeah, we had another truck coming to get the load from you. So, and it was yeah, go ahead and meet at there at Lepton ASAP. But so he didn't give any info on the other driver's name or truck number. Well, I think he gave truck number, but that was it. Didn't give name or phone number info so we could make contact with each other and find out, get kind of an idea of what his ETA was. I don't think it would have helped anyway with the phone because cell service sucked really bad. I couldn't even get anything out of my phone most of the time I was there. But anyway, I sent a message back across my Qualcomm asking, hey, where's this load? Where's this other driver at? And he ends up saying they're about 73 miles out. So okay, right about an hour then. And I was like, I hope it's a team truck because by the time they get here, I'll be about ready to roll myself, and I'll have a fresh clock too. So if they're already in the middle of a shift and they're a solo driver, or they're in worse shape than I am. So yeah, it was the team truck. They ended up taking it over, and then and he showed up right before my 10 ended. It ended up he was only like 50-something miles out. Now he got there quicker than I thought because, as usual, when they ping the truck in the system at the terminal, if they're already driving, it's almost always the case that the driver is actually closer than what the dispatcher says they are. I've had it numerous times where if I don't have good info on from the driver, either I don't have contact info or maybe I just can't get a hold of them. I can get info from dispatch and they'll tell me I'm a certain distance out, and then eventually I figure out that the driver was actually closer. But anyway, I don't even know where the load was going at this time until the other driver showed up. And then when he shows up, says, yeah, this one's going to Sparks, but it's not due until Thursday morning. I'm like, Thursday morning? I think this was Sunday night, or no, Monday afternoon. I was like, yeah, I'm ready to roll, and so I'd get that thing there tomorrow afternoon, now being Tuesday. So I don't, but it was a team truck. To be fair, they would have even been in worse shape as far as sitting around waiting to deliver the load. When team trucks are kind of a hot commodity, and reefer, when you're pulling reefer, they're all, because team trucks can really do a lot to help get loads that are running behind schedule back on time, or whatever. Or, we also got loads that are designed to run team speed. So they're kind of precious commodity, I guess, in a way. So, I mean, it was annoying, but it was like, I understand, and it was just that one swap that really screwed me up. Anyway, I ended up getting the load moving that same afternoon. I ended up stopping for the day in Kingman, which is only like 280, roughly 300-ish miles. Yeah, I was right at about 300 miles that I ran. From the 359 mile marker to the 59. So yeah, right at 300. And I only stopped there, one, because I didn't want to deal with Las Vegas area commute traffic. Two, as far ahead as I was running on the load, I wanted to be strategically positioned for swaps just in case any came up. So I stayed the night there. Ended up spending a good 18 hours in Kingman. Nothing came up, so I went ahead and decided to get rolling last night. Now, I got rolling last night about 6:30ish, 18:30ish, and this was from Kingman to Sparks. It's only about a 535 mile trip from what I remember seeing on my map. That's an easy shift. So I got rolling at 6 something last night, and it's just after 5 p.m. now. It's almost been a day, so you wonder, like, well, why did it take you so long to get over here? Yeah, that is a good question. This box right here, I don't know if you can see it. I assume the camera is picking it up, but just in case, there's a box right there. And that box is there for a reason. Because as I was heading up 95 in between Amargosa Valley, Nevada and Beatty, Nevada, which are north of Las Vegas, I had a drive tire failure. I wouldn't call it a blowout. I think it was basically it just shredded off or whatever. I don't know if it was basically a tread separation from what I could best figure out. Blowout, usually they have a more spontaneous sound and very, very loud when it's a steer tire. I mean, not a steer, but a super single drive tire. If one of those blows out, it is like really, really loud. They're like a gunshot, a really strong gun. So, and it wasn't even that loud a noise. To be fair, I did have stuff playing on my voice aloud reader when it happened. I just know I heard some kind of a noise. It wasn't super noisy, but it was enough for me to hear it. And then I felt like kind of a little bit of a shake, like a little bit of a slip. And I looked down on my peripheral vision. I catch on my gauge the traction control light on the gauge, on the dash panel, started to lighten up. I'm like, what the hell? So I start coasting down to a stop and get off to the right shoulder, and I could tell by the vibration and feeling all that there was definitely a bad tire or something. I just couldn't tell if it was a steer or a drive. Now steers, people will tell you that you cannot miss a steer tire blowout. It will grab you really quick by their steering wheel. It'll jerk pretty fast. But the truth is, not every steer tire failure is the same. If you have a spontaneous steer tire failure, yeah, you're more likely to have that kind of a problem. But if you have a more gradual, like a tread separation kind of blowout, then something that you can more easily adjust to, it might not be quite as obvious from what I understand. Now, I've never had a steer tire failure in 6.5 years of driving, and I hope to never have it. I know other drivers who've got 30 plus years of CDL experience, never had a steer tire failure in their life. So all we can really go by is what we're told, by anecdotes from other people. Can't really tell you from our own experiences. So try to keep that in mind there for steers. And actually, well, yeah, and I've had a number of both drive and trailer dual tire failures, but never a super single or a steer. But yeah, I get off to the shoulder there, and as soon as I realize what's going on, I get my info put together, get my triangles put out, and I have a clip here. I'll show you about all that. So I'll go ahead and cover that in a second here. Right for now. Well, this sucks, guys. I don't know how much I got for light here. I don't know how well this thing's picking me up. So, alright, well, we're on northbound US 95 right now, and we're about halfway between Amargosa Valley, Nevada, and Beatty, Nevada. On my way up to Sparks. Just coming through here, and felt some weird sensation. I had a feeling I had a blown tire. I had a voice aloud, a voice dictator thing reading out something to me, so I couldn't quite tell. It wasn't super loud, but I could tell there was something going on, and I was pretty sure it was tire related. I couldn't tell if it was a drive tire or a steer tire, but pretty certain it was a tire. Very shortly after, my traction control light came on, which kind of made me think it might have been a drive tire. Not to mention, if it's a steer tire, usually it's you'll definitely notice it. Never had a steer tire blowout, but all the stories I've heard from other drivers, they all say that you'll definitely know if it's a steer tire very quickly, most of the time. I know, steer tires, it depends on if it's a spontaneous blowout or if it's kind of a gradual, but this looked like it might have been a tread separation that happened here. I'm going to go ahead and show you that, and then also show you how to properly place the triangles, which I already have out. I also confirmed what mile marker I'm at, which I'm going to talk about that in a second here as well. Alright guys, I'm going to do this Blair Witch style so you guys can see me. Alright, so yeah, it's like 10 o'clock at night here or something like that, maybe a little bit later now. Anyway, it's the right rear. Can't tell if the wheel is damaged or not. It might be okay, but I don't know for sure. Yeah, it's quite a mess though. Gonna need probably get the mud flap rail replaced though. Yeah. Can't tell if it did any other damage. I don't know if that can be that spring loads back into place or not, but might have to bring a new mud flap just in case. Yeah, light's not working the greatest. Alright, so I'm going to let's talk about proper placement of triangles too, and when they have to be, because there actually is a FMCSR saying how soon after you stop before you have to start putting them out, and by how long before you have to have them out. Also proper placement, there's a regulation on that. I'm going to go into that. Most people, if they put them out at all, are way off. They don't put them anywhere near out far enough. So I'm gonna, well, here's the back of my truck right here, my trailer. So what we're gonna do We start at the back of the trailer, and the first triangle should be about 4 paces back from the trailer. The actual feet that are mentioned in the actual distances that are mentioned in the FMCSR are 10, 100, and 200 feet from the back of the trailer, or facing the traffic that's coming at you. So in this case, and then there's a general rule of thumb, 4 paces for the first one, 36 paces, to go from, so you're 40 paces back from the trailer to get to the second one, and then 40 more paces back from the second one to get to the third one. So I'm going to show you just how far back you got to be by the time you're putting that last triangle in, if you're doing it properly. Okay, so right here is my last triangle. If you take a look how far away I am from my trailer, that's how far you should be. So right now I should be able to take 40 steps to get from here to the second triangle, and then, like I said, another 36 from the second triangle to the first one, and then 4 steps from the first one to the trailer. All right. So yeah, a lot of people don't know the proper amount of distance. It might not seem like it matters, but if someone goes crashing into the back of you, and there's any hint of evidence that you didn't either you didn't have your triangles out at all, or you didn't have them the proper distance or whatever, or properly placed, all that can, you never know. The lawyers for the other side can always argue that you didn't have them properly placed, and put some of the financial fault, financial liability for the crash on you, even if you're broke down and on the side of the road. So make sure you have them out properly. You never know when some moron is going to crash into you. Even if you're broke down and you can't do anything, don't let them get any little bullshit reason to pin any bit of fault on you if you can avoid it. All right. Okay, so hopefully you got good info from there, seeing what the tire looks like. I'll put some pictures up here too, since I didn't have flash running. I'll get a better view of what was going on there, what the condition was from the still pictures. But also it had, I hopefully saw some good information about how to properly place triangles and how soon they're supposed to be getting put out once you stop. Anyway, I ended up staying there for about 12.5 hours before the tire got changed. Now JCT went ahead and ordered a new wheel, or bought a new wheel just in case. So I told him I thought the wheel might have been okay, but said we probably need to jack the tire, jack the axle up to get a better look, to confirm that it's in good shape. But they went ahead and bought a new wheel anyway, as well as the tire. The tire tech came, didn't even leave Las Vegas until this morning about 6-ish, and he had to go up to Love's. So I guess they didn't have he came from the TA, which is down on the south end of Las Vegas, and he had to drive a good 35 miles, maybe 40 miles to get from there up to the Love's on the north end of town, so he could get this wheel, because I guess TA didn't have any. So he went up there, JCT bought the wheel from them, TA picked it up, and then started bringing it up here. He got up to my spot, which I was right about halfway between Amargosa Valley and Beatty. If you look on a map, that's right about where I was at. And here's another good bit of advice. Always know what mile marker you are by as much as you can. Because, if you have a blowout like that, or some other kind of emergency situation, maybe an accident, or you witness one or something, the first thing they're going to ask you is, where are you at, so I can send help? I don't know. somewhere on US 95. You think that's going to fly too well? No. It's like, well, I need a better idea where you're at than just somewhere on 95. That's a long highway. Like, you know. But I was saying, shut up, there's no collision warning here. See what I mean? The fucking collision warning, there's not a damn thing anywhere near me, except for traffic coming the other way, 3 lanes over. Anyway, yeah, he gets up there. I wasn't really expecting him to be there until about 10:30, 11, but he ends up getting there like 8:30ish. I'm like, damn, that was quick. Must have hauled ass. Got the tire changed, but he was having a hard time with it. Because he took the tire off and then ended up unwrapping all the steel that was getting wrapped around the hub and all that, and their axle. And he agreed with me that the wheel looked like it was still usable, so he left the wheel on the axle and started putting the new tire on. But I was having a bitch of a time getting that tire on there. I was actually even helping him, because he had like two bead breaker pry bars. So I was holding one, trying to hold it in place while he would walk it on with the other one. We'd kind of alternate. So he'd get one in, and I would hold on to it, and then give him back the one that I'm taking out, and then he would work the next section on. But it was a pain in the butt. He said he'd never had so much difficulty getting a super single tire on before. I guess he thought it might have just been the fact that it was a Bridgestone tire. Usually JCT only buys Michelin, so I was a little bit surprised that they got a Bridgestone. But alright, we are almost to the Walmart DC, but we're not due there until 4 a.m. So as usual, when I come over here, I'm going to go over to Golden Gate Travel Center, which is about 2 to 3 miles north of the DC, right here on the same street, or off of the same street. A black Tesla coming. Alright, so long story short, I finally got out of there about 12 and a half hours later. And since he didn't use the wheel, instead of taking it back to Love's, he's like, Merry Christmas, JCT already bought it, so you're going to have to take it. Okay, well, I don't know what they want to do with it. I don't want it in my truck too long. So I had asked I asked earlier if maybe I could even drop it off at the Love's in Fernley or somewhere else, turn it back in so JCT can get their money back or something, but I never got a response, so I'll just probably talk to them tomorrow, ask them about what do they want to do with this unused wheel. Alright, finally got rolling. Now, do me a favor, guys. If you're going to be driving on a 2-lane highway, at least try to do the speed limit. If you're not going to do the speed limit, at least have some fucking courtesy and let the traffic that does want to do the speed limit go by. I had 3 times on the way up here after that blowout where I had to deal with slower traffic. The first one was almost immediately after I got back on the road. There was a truck pulling double belly dump hopper trailers, open hopper trailers. Mind you, we're in a 70 mile an hour zone. I want to do 70. But I couldn't because this guy was only doing 55. And, this whole time he was doing 55, there were either curves to one direction or another, grade changes that I couldn't see over, hills that I couldn't see around, or oncoming traffic or something. So it's like it was getting irritating. I never got around him until he actually pulled off the road in Beatty. By then I'd already driven a good almost 15 miles. It's like, fuck, this was nerve-wracking. And then a little further up, before I got to Minah, M-I-N-A-H, the road closed ahead. Why do we have a road closure? Anyway, there was a like a crossover type vehicle pulling a small trailer with a UTV in it. Okay, where's the detour? Or is the detour just this road right here? I don't know. Anyway, this guy's only doing 60 in a 70 zone, and then I could never get around him for the same reason. There was mainly because there was too much other oncoming traffic coming. There were a couple of spots where there were one-lane roads, so it was causing traffic to bunch up at times, and then they were just evenly enough spaced out where, and me being heavier, well, yeah, I'm about 70, I think just over 70,000 pounds. Why is this on? I had the volume all the way down. Yeah, I could never get around the damn guy. And he wouldn't back in, he wouldn't move over, slow down, whatever. There was no way to move over, but at least slow down, give me an opportunity to try to go around if you're not going to do the limit. Meanwhile, I had another truck come up, catch up to us, and he got impatient and even tried to pass one. I actually got next to my trailer at one point in time before realizing he wasn't going to make it. I was too close to the other driver because I wanted to get around myself. But I could see the traffic up ahead, and I knew it wasn't safe to go, so that's why I didn't go. Then he ended up finally backing off. Right here at this light here, Electric Avenues, we're going to turn left. Shanghai Express. I gotta probably eat there eventually. I like Chinese food. Yeah, I finally got around. Well, actually, before I did get around them, there were a couple of four-wheelers that went flying by, but both went past both the other truck and the guy who was holding me up. And one of them came close to having a collision with an oncoming driver. Again, if you want to drive that speed, so be it, but just be forewarned, you can't stop people from doing stupid shit. When people want to do the speed limit, or usually even faster, and you're inhibiting them from doing that, now they're going to get impatient and be very prone to doing something very stupid. So it really is best for everybody, get the hell out of the way. Back on, try to encourage the person behind you to go ahead and go around you when it's safe to, and back off your throttle so they can get around you. And I'm going to go ahead and park over here by this TSK truck, I think. These guys are all parked crooked. Yeah, I'll put it right here in this spot. Although it's kind of normal here. I don't ever see people actually follow the lines right there. Shit. Over-rotated. Yeah, it's kind of a funky angle there, so it's hard to... Come on. Come on. I gotta push this fucking gas pedal down so far before I get a reaction from the truck. Alright, so yeah, anyway, that was one of the drivers I had an issue with. I finally got around him, but like I said, there were a couple of spots where four-wheelers trying to go around, actually did go around us and came close to having collisions head on. So you tell me how safe that is. Alright guys, we are all checked in here at the guard shack. Now, I'm in a loaner truck. I usually have a pair of bolt cutters that I use to cut cable or bolt seals with on my own. However, my bolt cutters did not make it into this truck. And when I acquired this load, I've been looking at truck stops for bolt cutters and I haven't had any luck finding them. Probably have to go to like a TA or somewhere. I do see them get sold sometimes, but maybe I've just been like, well, the truck stops that I've been going to since I acquired this load in Lupton, Arizona, I think are all too, maybe too small. My keyboard just fell off the passenger seat. And again, because that keyboard is bigger than the one that I normally keep in my own truck. I forgot to take the transmitter out of the Qualcomm unit. It's a USB keyboard. I forgot to take the transmitter out of the side of the Qualcomm unit on my truck when I was getting my stuff out of it. And so now the keyboard that I was using was not useful to me. So my wife ended up hooking me up with a new keyboard, but it's a freaking huge one. It'd be great for a computer. Overkill for my truck, but I mean, I don't know. Well, it's if it was USB-C, I'd probably have good use for it on my tablet, or especially if I have my had my TV in here and the tablet was extending the screen to the TV. That's how I normally do things. Yeah, so. Speaking of that, a lot of you guys always want like some kind of Wi-Fi or whatever. This guy is walking across. There's some kind of way to get your laptops or whatever else on, connected to the internet while you're on the road. And my solution for that is to use a 2-in-1, which is basically a tablet and laptop in one. I personally use the Samsung Galaxy Book. I got this one here, I think shortly after I started driving for JCT. It's been a godsend. It's basically like a laptop, but it has its own SIM card. And, so I get my own cell service. I don't have to use hotspot or Wi-Fi or anything to get it connected online. I'm going to be docking into 333, which should be a little bit past Stevens. This is 328 right here, so yeah. Should be a short distance past Stevens. Looks like Stevens got a trainer out there watching him. Actually, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and open my doors now. Now, going back to the seal issue. Because this load had a cable seal on it, and I told you I don't have any bolt cutters or wire cutters, cable cutters, whatever on me. So what I ended up doing is I just asked because the guard check, they have cable seals. I mean, they have cable cutters and bolt cutters and all that there. So I just ended up asking him if I could use his cable cutter. I said, yeah, sure. You know, it's I just held my bills hostage until I gave the cable cutter back. Alright, this is a wide lane, so this is not exactly the type of setup I normally do. Very close though. Tandem's a little more to the left. There we go. Let's see. We're going to be a little late. Oh, might be alright. Got to disconnect from the trailer anyway. So I don't really care if the... this looks like just in case. I mean, I think we're okay like we are, but I'm going to go ahead and slide just a hair more to the left. It looked like I'm right on the pad where I want to be, but there's that slight possibility yeah, I could end up having a guard, not a guard, but the unloader tell me they can't get the dock plate across, so I'll just make sure it's right. I don't have to deal with any possibility of being told I have to slide left or slide right. Oh, that ricocheted a little further than I wanted. Alright, I need to get that. Oh, come on. We'll just leave that keyboard off to the side or something so it can't fall over anymore. Now we'll get disconnected here and then get checked in. Alright, one thing I do, I don't know if I like or dislike about this truck is it has a kingpin release on its own. I put the, oh, yeah. No, actually, you know what, I think you gotta hold on, yeah. And it's even got a reminder in there. Lower landing gear. Disconnect airlines. Let's see. Drop my airbags. Alright, anyway, yeah, it has a reminder there. Lower landing gear, disconnect cables, and disconnect hoses. I'm used to doing that manually with, because my truck doesn't have an automatic kingpin release. So be it. It doesn't make any difference to me. I'm out there anyway. Something else I noticed, I want to talk about here is the how the hoses and pigtail hook up on this truck versus how they do on my truck. Because the way the mounts are, it's typically done when you're already hooked up to a trailer and disconnecting from it. Just for those of you guys who might be looking for any bit of training info. When you're decoupling, usually what drivers do is they'll disconnect the blue first, and then they'll put it on the side that's furthest away from, it's closest to the center of the truck. From the hanger side, the side of the hangers that's on toward the center of the truck. And then they'll pull the pigtail, install it up in its holder, and then they'll take the red one out and put it on the side closest to the cab extender. In my truck, I usually do it all three together, and I have a kind of a certain way I arrange them on my hand so they always go in that same order: blue, pigtail, and red as they get closer to me. And then I just kind of rotate it back around. So I'm really quick about this. Well, let me get checked in, and we'll continue on the way out of here. Alright guys, we're all done unloading here. It's not the quickest I've ever been out of here, that's for sure. Not exactly long either. It's 6:20, or just shy of 6:20 a.m. right now. Come on. Here we go again. Either give me not enough reaction or too much. Alright. We'll finish getting hooked up here and roll out of here. Alright guys, let's head out to the exit now. No, now's not the time for phone calls. Busy recording for YouTube. I'm not answering phone calls right now. Alright, trying to figure out what this what this shag driver's doing. Alright, so no OS&Es. I didn't have any load locks to worry about, so not much concerned about what's going on the inside of my trailer right now. And I'll get the doors closed when I get to the end of the guard shack, like usual. We do have a reload, and it picks up in California tonight. That'll be in Salinas. The Taylor Farms load going to Florida. So I will have another video coming up after this from Salinas. Eventually I'd like to be able to get the rear cameras hooked back up, but I need to figure out a good way to attach them to this truck. If I had like maybe some double-sided sticky stuff, like pads, whatever, those 3M sticky pads, that's what they come with. If I get my hands on some of those somewhere, I'll probably get them hooked back up so we can be back to normal four camera view setup here. This box gets in my way all the time. I can't see. Once it's a certain distance out, if there's something there, I can't see it without ducking down to look underneath it or something. I could really do without that damn box. We get the doors closed, checked out and all that, and we'll be out of here. Come on. Oh, and I gotta send my empty call. Alright guys, we're ready to roll out of here. Not gonna prolong this video more than necessary. So yeah, as I mentioned, I'm just gonna. So I pick up tonight at 10 in Salinas. It's about 300 miles, or no, probably not even that long. I can't remember how many miles it is from here to Salinas. It's probably 250 at least, something like that. So yeah, we're talking about 5, 6, 7 hour drive, whatever, depending on how many miles it really is. If I leave right now, though, I will have still some of the back end of Sacramento area commute traffic to deal with, which I don't feel like dealing with. So I will instead elect to just come back over here to the truck stop, hang out there for maybe get a couple of hours more rest or something, because I got up early. I woke up at like 2:30 in the morning. I had my alarm set for 3, and actually I woke up before my alarm even went off. So I might give me just a quick little nap and then get rolling toward Salinas after that. And haven't decided yet. Once this car goes by. I think they need to slow down, though. I mean, to be fair, there was road work ahead and road closed ahead signs. Although we came through here last night and didn't see anything going on, so, and not surprisingly, those guys are just policing up all that stuff. Anyway. Yeah, give me a couple of hours rest and then head out. And probably get my trailer washed out. I could do Lodi. See, I could also take I-80 all the way out to the Bay Area and then take 880 down. I don't intend to go that way though. I'm more apt to take 80 across to the Sacramento area and then work my way over to 5. I might take 80 business route and 80 business route and US 50 or Highway 4 across over to 5. Maybe stop in Lodi to get my trailer washed out there, or I might wait till I get into Gilroy. Yeah, I'll end up taking Highway 152 across from over by Santanella, and we'll take 152 and 156 across through Hollister and get on, or actually shit, I don't think Gilroy's going to be a good option unless I take now I'm thinking about that. Gilroy's not going to be a good washout option unless I take 80 all the way out to Oakland. So, pick your poison. Do I want to sit in line at Blue Beacon for a couple hours, or do I want to deal with possibly shit traffic out in the Bay Area? Yeah, I don't know. I'll figure it out. Whatever the case, I'll have another video for you guys coming in Salinas, though. So that said, yeah, I don't have a good backing footage I can give you here without the rear cameras. At least I don't think I do. So I will probably just gonna go ahead and call this one a day. And well, yeah, again, I'll see you guys in Salinas. All right, y'all have a great day.